I'd done many years in counselling for issues from like pretty much everyday stuff. Issues with my parents as I grew up, issues with friends, being very stressed out in the job I was in, really, really stressed out in the job I was in, and didn't know where to go. So I'd been through counselling to try and sort some of the issues out, and I kind of got stuck. I'd only got so far and I couldn't seem to move any further forward. Um, so I came to from a recommendation from a friend who said, like, you'll find this, you'll get that huge shift that you're just not getting through counselling. Which I thought, yeah, all right then. What's it? I may as well give it a go. Because it was the online, it was the 2 days online. And I thought, value for money, really. What's the to lose? So I gave it a go. And I had, after the first day, I had the most dramatic shift I'd had for years. Yeah, it basically replaced probably about 2-3 years of the counselling I'd already done. It made such a huge shift. So I did that. The day after, onto the second day of the AM online, I was having even more shifts. So it was just realizations I'd had, and I could let go of a lot of the beliefs that I was holding that really were holding me back, that just weren't doing me any favors. Um, Using the technique that Sanjay teaches us allowed me to make those shifts, allowed me to drop a lot of the beliefs that I had, because I realized actually I was trying to be someone I thought everybody else wanted me to be. And that was my own fault. Like, it was me that thought these people were thinking this of me, and I would never be able to achieve it. So as soon as I realized that and started working on that over some time, the shifts have been dramatic. I was such a nervous wreck. I was constantly in stress. I was constantly busy. I'd leave the house at 5:30 in the morning, come back at 10 o'clock at night, having not stopped. And I was doing that 5 days a week. I was busy all weekend. I was burning out. I was probably 2 months off burning out before I met Sanjay. And now I have more time to myself, probably still not as much as I need, but I'm working on it. I'm getting there because the beliefs are changing. So I don't work half of what I did. I have better relationships with people. I'm not stressed. I can't remember the last time I had one of those type of stressful days. So yeah, my stress levels just dropped through the floor. So I'm a lot calmer. I've not lost business. If anything, I was in the process of starting up a business, so it's actually allowed me to drop all the like the limiting beliefs I was having around it. So I was struggling to believe in myself enough to be able to start this business up, and I've now been able to set it up. It's given me the confidence, the belief in myself to be able to do it. Doing less, I'm having better quality friendships and relationships because I have the time for them. I'm not bouncing onto the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing, and never really being present. So now I'm actually present with where I am. So everything's just, yeah, I'm feeling more rewarded with being where I am. So that's my quality of life's improved by doing less. Definitely. Yeah. I'm where I am. So when I say I'm going to do something, I can actually be there and I can enjoy it as much as I would, instead of thinking, well, I'm only here and now because next time in about an hour and a half I've got to be there. Whereas now it's like I'm here and I'm here for as much as I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to be here with me, and I just have a lot more enjoyment in life. I apply them because when I feel like my head is off on a storm, which it does, it goes on a whole conversation in my head, I stop. That conversation before would have lasted hours, days, weeks at times and sent me in a real spiral. Whereas now, as soon as I notice it, I can stop. I realize what my head is saying, what it's doing, and I can just let go of it. It doesn't mean those thoughts don't come back in a slightly different way later on, but in that moment, I can stop it so I don't spiral. So instead of having hours, days, weeks of being in a really, really bad place and just getting worse, I have a few minutes, an hour tops, if I'm really not paying attention. So I don't spiral into the really dark moods anymore. I used to be, yeah, really in dark moods in a dark place with just horrendous thoughts. And it was all about me. I wasn't good enough. I couldn't do this. I was a failure. And now I don't go into those thoughts. I've been doing this for the last, 6 months now. I'd say the last 2 months, I've only had one episode where I've had those kind of thoughts, and I dealt with it within 10 minutes by stopping and observing and releasing on it all. It was really good to actually notice that I could apply it that quickly now after the practice. But also doing the buddy calls every day, having the community around me has made a huge difference. Because I actually do apply the skills every day. I started noticing the good times in the days. I always used to focus on the bad, whereas now a lot of the buddy calls, it's like focus on the good, what's been bad, but what's been good. And I noticed what's been good in a day, and I definitely wasn't noticing that before. So it's allowed me to see what I actually have in life. So there's a lot more gratitude, a lot more awareness of what I do have, which has made me happier. And to have things like I'm shopping less, I've spent less because I was finding that buying something was making me feel good. I needed to do something to make me feel good, and I don't need to do that anymore. I was going to the gym stupid amounts. Like I was getting stressed. I had to burn the stress off. Whereas now I actually don't want to go to the gym anymore. I haven't got that need to go to the gym, and I was going 4, 5, 6 times a week. I now struggle to go once because I haven't got that energy, that stress energy, the adrenaline to burn off anymore. So I've got more time in that way. And I can choose to go to the gym. I can choose to do the exercise I want to do instead of feeling like I have to do it to feel better. Because I needed the break. It gave me, I remember running once and someone said, what's going on in your head when you're running? And I said, it's black. It was the only piece of peace I had in a day. And that's why I was going so often, because it was the only peace I could have. Whereas now I'm peaceful most of the day. So I don't need to do the exercise to find the quiet. I have the quiet without the exercise. Absolutely do it. Come with an open mind. Don't try to understand it. You cannot logic this through. But just give it a go, but do it. Don't do it with reserve. Just do it. I came on because it was a recommended thing to do, and I thought it's not that much. It's a couple of days. If I don't get anything out of it, I don't care. Well, not quite. I'd like to get something out of it, but it's not much to risk. And I know I always hate it when people say this, but it is actually life-changing. I found in the first day, as I say, I made such a huge shift. After the first weekend, I was such a different person. And everybody around me has seen how different it is. So you can't lose. It's a couple of days. If you don't get anything out of it, fine. But if you can get what I've got out of it, don't not do it. Just get on and get it done. I always believed I had to be a certain type of person to be able to love myself. I'd always said I can't love myself. I used to hate myself. I didn't like myself at the time, due to a lot of maybe family things, a lot of things that have been said and done to me. And I came away from the Saturday and thought, it doesn't matter who I am right now. I can love myself for who I am. Yes, I have things to change, things to improve, but why can't I love myself now? What's wrong? So I made the decision to approve of myself enough to love myself. I didn't need to be a certain person to love myself. I could just love myself. And I can't say that I there and then never had those problems and those doubts again, but I can honestly say over time, I do love myself, and I've changed the way I am because of the love I have for me. And I say I'd been in counselling, to be fair, probably 8 years before that point. To do it in a day, in 6 hours online, it's priceless, absolutely priceless.